How do you not take on other people's thoughts and opinions of you? How do you stand so strong, so solid in who you are? How do you do that? I heard a saying the other day that kind of changed the way that I viewed this. I've been working on this for a couple years now of like my self-concept, my self-identity, what I'm worth, what, my values are, and how to like stand in it where like no one's thoughts, no one's opinions, no one's anything affects me. Because I used to be the type of person that absorbed every thought, every opinion, everything that someone thought of me. I was very big in my people pleasing era. And I was very big into like absorbing everyone around me and I guess what they thought of me. Like if they didn't think of me the way I thought of myself as like, we'll just say like a strong, independent, good mother. If they didn't think of me that way, I was constantly trying to like prove it to them because I wanted them to think what I thought of myself. So I heard a saying the other day that was like, it kind of clicked for me of like maybe a way I can explain this better. Let's say I have on a blue shirt. Okay, I have on a blue shirt and it's very like I know it's blue. Someone else looks at me and says, "That is the ugliest yellow shirt I have ever seen. Why are you wearing that?" Clearly there's a difference, as in it's clearly blue, but that person sees it as yellow. That's how we don't take on someone else's opinion. That's how you stand strong in who you are as a person, as a mother, as a sister, as a friend, as whoever you are to the world. That's how you stand strong in that, of like knowing that you have on a blue shirt. You know it's blue. What anyone else is saying that it's yellow, pink, green, purple, they're wrong. They're wrong about you because they can only see through their lens of perception. They can only see through their own reality, if that makes sense. Like if someone grows up in a very neglected childhood, maybe abandoned, in early stages, that they've cultivated this kind of everyone leaves me persona. Okay, if that is how they show up in the world, just based off how they grew up, it has nothing to do with you. But imagine that's how they grow up and then they come to you. Okay, we'll say you are a very fun, loving, outgoing, secure person. Okay, they come to you, or maybe they get in a relationship with you and they are constantly like, "You're going to leave me. You're doing these things make me feel like you're going to leave me." That has nothing to do with you. That, in fact, will dim your light if you take on those person's thoughts and opinions. That will start to suppress you and dim your light because you're now starting to question your own self, your own identity, your own whatever word you want to put in there, values, your worth. You're starting to question yourself when you know that you have on a blue shirt. You know it's blue. But then you get into a relationship where they're like, "That's clearly pink and you're going to leave me. And that's what I think of you. So everything you do, I'm going to nitpick at it and show you why you're going to leave me." That will make you question yourself. So back to the beginning of this video, how do you do that? Like, how do you stand so solid in who you are? Me personally, I think you have to have time alone. I think you have to have a lot of time alone where no distractions, no one's around you to kind of cultivate that, like no one else is coming in your reality, your world. You're so busy loving and focusing on you that no one is kind of there on your shoulder or in the background making you think otherwise. That's at least how it happened for me. But also, if there is someone there, like let's say you're already married and you don't necessarily have the time to take a couple years and spend it alone, you can absolutely still do this while you're in a relationship, or you're around someone, but what you have to do is you have to solitude. You have to sit and journal, maybe journal who you are, journal your thoughts for the day, journal what's triggering you, figure out what it is that someone is saying that you are either believing about yourself to be true when you know it's not. I want you to sit and think about those things of like, what is someone saying, or what is someone thinking of me that I know is not true. I will be 100% honest. My family, they think and have said, and I have felt it, that I am like not a good mom at all. Their perception of reality is like, they don't do any wrong, they're perfect, and they would never do the things that I do. I just parent differently because I refuse to have my kids grow up the way I did. So yes, it looks very different to them. Yes, I don't parent at all like they do. And they cannot fathom that, but I have let them over the years, okay? I have let them make me feel like I am not a good mom, that I'm not living up to their perception of what a good mom is. I know for a fact, I know it deep within my soul, deep within my heart, that I try my hardest and I do my best as a mother, and I put my kids first. So why is that not enough? Why was that not enough for me to stand so solid in that I know I'm a good mom and I'm not going to let anyone take that away from me? Why did I let these people, like box me in and dim my light and make me feel like I really was not a good mom, like I wasn't the best mom? I had to learn and had to figure this out the hard way, that they can only see through their lens of perception. Their lens of perception is they are perfect. They can do no wrong, and they judge everything and everyone that does not do what they do. I can't live up to that, and I refuse to. And once I had that kind of like mental shift of like, it doesn't matter what I do. It does not matter what I do. I started to understand that I was people pleasing. I was trying to please them, and I was trying to live up and do things that would make them happy to validate me as a good mom. And it like, when I finally realized that it did not matter what I did, no matter what I did, they were never going to see me as a good mom. They were always going to judge. They were always going to find fault in something, anything that I did. They were always going to find fault in it. Always, always. So what on earth am I trying to prove? I'm going to live the rest of my life trying to prove that to them when it doesn't matter what I do, they're going to find fault in something anyway. I can't do that. I can't live like that because my shirt is blue. My shirt is blue. They keep seeing it as pink, green, yellow, purple. I can't control that. I can't control how they view me. Yes, it hurt. Yes, it was uncomfortable of like, but how do I get them to see me as a good mom? How do I get them to see that? The reality and the answer is you can't. You can't live for someone else, and you can't live up to someone else's standards because you never will be able to. You never will. And that's living for someone else. That's not being authentically you. That's not showing up as yourself. You're showing up as, I'm trying to please someone else and I need someone else's validation and approval to make me feel like I'm good enough or a good mom or, whatever the fill in the blank for you. It was such a like, wow, I call it reality shattering. It was a reality shattering moment where I was like, I give up. I give up trying to please them. I give up trying to make sure my house is clean. Every time somebody comes over, because I don't want them to judge me and I don't want them to be like, go behind my back and immediately leave and then call everybody in the family and be like, oh my God, her house is such a mess. I have 3 kids. What do you expect? It's not dirty as in like filthy fucking disgusting. But yes, there are toys everywhere sometimes, okay? Yes, there is clothes because I'm in the middle of doing laundry and then I just put the load of the dryer on my couch to fold, and you just so happen to come right when I put the clothes on the couch, and now you hurry up and run back and tell somebody like, oh my God, her house is so dirty. Like, I just put the fucking clothes on the couch. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, I can't win for anything. I can't win for anything. So I had to accept the fact that they're always going to view me that way. I had to accept the fact that they're, no matter what I do, they're just going to find fault in that. And like, I had to start really living from my authentic self, my blue shirt. I had to start living from that, because like, I seriously know I'm a good mom. I do. I know I'm a good mom. I know that I put my kids first. I know this deep in my being, because I mean, just because I know it, like I know it, I feel it, I know it, right? But also because of the way my kids interact with me. My kids are very lovey. They hug me all the time for no reason. It's very, you know, love yous and very just like affectionate, which is something I didn't have in my childhood. That right there is the number one sign of like my kids feel safe. My kids love me. My kids are, you know, emotionally open and available to, you know, express love and be affectionate. And I talk to them a lot. I'm definitely like your mental health advocate for sure. I'm in school for psychology. Like, I am a, you know, mental health coach. Basically, like what I teach and preach is like transformation coaching, like limited belief, subconscious, you know, how to break out of your subconscious, because it rules 95% of your reality. And until you become aware what you are subconsciously doing and projecting onto the world, you will constantly live in that like record loop is what I call it. Just like me understanding that I was proving and trying to validate, I wanted their validation because I never got it in childhood. And I'm a 30-year-old adult still trying to get their approval and validation, because I didn't understand my subconscious was trying to get validated. Once I understood that, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing? It doesn't matter what I do. They're always going to find fault in it. And that's their lens of perception. It's not what they would do. It's not how they would live. It's not how they would raise children. But you know what? They already did. They already did raise their children. So I'm raising mine completely different, and I don't care. Like, I know what I'm doing is right. I know I have a blue shirt on, and I don't care. And that is like, I hope sharing my experiences with that resonates with someone. But like, that's how you stand in who you are. Once, figure out, are you needing validation? Are you wanting approval? Are you wanting to be needed? I mean, figure out what it is that you're looking for from believing that statement to be true, believing what these other people are thinking of you. What part of you is believing that to be true? That's something I teach and coach in my, you know, coaching. It's all about the subconscious. It's all about transformation. I do a lot of like weight loss and emotional eating too. But if you're interested in working with me, I'll put the link in the description. But I hope that helps someone today. Because there is a lot of family history for me of breaking out of this box. I actually used to explain it to someone that like I was in a corner most of my life, not like physically, but like maybe like mentally, energetically. I felt like I was in a corner most of my life growing up in my family. Every time I tried to step out and be myself, I was shunned back to this corner, like, oh my God, what are you doing? Because they were judging me, and they wanted me to be what they wanted me to be, and they wanted to only praise me when it was something they thought was praiseworthy, not the things that I actually liked or enjoyed or what I was actually good at, because they couldn't see that as like a person of society. Like, I'll be honest, like this online coaching and the YouTube and shit like that I'm doing, imagine what my family is thinking of me now. Like, you can't make a living off that. Watch me. You know, like I am. But judgment, shame, and guilt definitely has like ruled over me my entire childhood, adolescent, and adulthood life of my family. They were such a big part for me to kind of break out of that corner and like be unapologetically myself and be authentically myself. I feel so good knowing that I have a blue shirt on and I know it's blue. Like, I feel so good that I'm standing in like who I am and not letting them overpower and overshadow me and make me go back to that corner, because in that corner, that's who they want me to be. I will never be able to live up to that. Never in my entire life. It does not matter what I do. I'll never be able to live up to it. So Why on earth would I spend the rest of my life living that way? That's suppressing who I really am. That's dimming my light. I can't authentically even shine as bright as I'm supposed to if I'm living for someone else and I'm wanting validation from people that can never see me. Some people are meant not to see who you are truly because they don't have the capacity to. Honestly, they don't have the capacity because they've never been where you are. They could never fathom doing the things that you're doing because they never stepped into it themselves. They never had those moments and experiences and growth themselves to even understand what you're doing. So, like, I really hope that this hit home for someone today, because you need to know you have a blue shirt on and it's blue, and you do not let anyone else tell you it's a different color. It's funny because I actually use like clothing as examples sometimes, like in one of my videos about being, I think, like how to not wear your emotions as like your everyday. I talked about it actually as a coat. Like emotions are like a coat. You try it on and you're like, you feel the emotion, you let it kind of, pass, you let it go through you, but then you take it off. You take the coat off and you do not let your emotions run your entire life. And I know that's a lot easier said than done, and it may be a little complex to understand at first, but that's what I teach and coach. I coach all about this because I've been through a lot of experiences that has really shown me, transformed me into a total, physically, okay, 100 pounds, physically and mentally. I am showing up in the world a completely different person than I ever was before. So yes, wear your emotions as a coat, but you take them off. And it's just funny because it's like, I'm going to use that. When I heard that saying, I was like, I'm going to use that because why do I keep finding these like, analogies? Like, why do I keep finding these like clothing pieces as like a way to explain like the mental plane and emotions? But anyway, I'll put the link in the description if you're interested in working with me.